Welcome back. Welcome back. So, you know how like nowadays they say like movies have a real big connection to reality now? Like they hide stuff in the movies and the Simpsons and the. Well, I just thought of the biggest ultimate thing. Right? I love Star Wars. Been a Star Wars nerd forever. Since I first got onto it, because it came out before I was alive. Now, I've been watching it. Can't say I've seen everything on it, but I've definitely seen all the movies, majority of them, except for the newer ones. And something crossed my mind. Order 66. In the Jedi world, the good guys, they didn't lose to some big army. I mean, they kind of did, but they really didn't. All their enemies were natural, regular shit, like people will always beef with each other, but dominating each other is a whole nother level. See, two tribes of people can beef over what's right and wrong, prove they're right by kicking ass, and then say, now get the fuck out of here. When you dominate somebody, it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. As long as you get the upper hand, you're going to dominate, And I was thinking to myself, when Palpatine took over, he was the smartest Sith Lord ever. Because all the others, they used brute force and plans and the Force and technology. And, they always kept trying to be stronger than the Jedi. And rightfully so they were. But the flaw of them is the infinite, I want more power. So that would lead to internal fighting. As soon as someone gets stronger than the other, they're going to go outside and they're going to prove who should be the leader. And since real recognize real and you're already bad, it goes back to that who can get the advantage thing. It's not about your strength, So, that's why when we watch Star Wars, we get the theme of there's only two Sith Lords, And maybe a couple of his henchmen can use the Force, but he always has just him and his apprentice. And they will destroy literally thousands of people on their own because they're so strong. They're only so strong because the reason there's only so many Sith is because a Sith Lord figured out we keep losing because there's no order. Our very nature of power is what's fucking us up. There can never be more than two. We can't be like the Jedi. We wanted to break away from the Jedi, right? We wanted to go do our thing. I want to separate, do my thing. Alright, well, you want to be opposite of something? You got to be totally opposite. Jedi recruit people. So you can't. Well, you can, but look what it'll lead you to. Give all those people power. And they're going to fucking turn it on you. It only takes a matter of time. That's why the Jedi and the Apprentice, that's why he destroyed all the Sith worlds and harnessed all their power into himself so he can become the strongest Force user ever, and defeat Jedis on his own. When you have the power of an entire planet of Jedis, Sith Lords, an entire planet of Jedis they're no match. Most Jedis are not stronger than Sith. That's why Jedi, always recruited. That's why they helped. That's why when you see the Jedis fighting, you see people out there with ray guns, not just people using force powers. Because they're standing up for other people, other life forms. And those life forms are willing to fight for their freedom. So anyway, let's get to this meat. I had to give you that little long history. So maybe some of this will make sense. Now, Palpatine took office and bamboozled the entire galaxy like he was going to be the best president in the world. And I'm going to fix all their problems. But we got to go to war, Like, I got to get some, like, you guys got a lot of problems out there. You're beefing with those guys, and you got terrorist groups over there, and blah, 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 right? And then they made I think a robot army? Yeah, they made the robot army, I believe. No, the bad guys, himself, he had his own alien bad guys, there's always bad guys. And they were grouped up, the alien planet bad guys, the rebels, the real rebels. And he was smart enough to, let them know, like, you're outnumbered. You can never beat the council of the federations of, like, the world, the galaxy, with a few planets. Like, they got peep manpower all day, fight you all the time. So he convinced them to make robots. And that, kind of evened the odds, because robots can, do things that human beings won't do. And that gives that advantage thing of savagery. And, if you see a woman dragging big bags into a laundromat, offer to, like, take them in. Some women are independent and say, no, I got this. But thank you, Bobby. That felt good. Spike thinks I'm a gentleman. Well, I am. Anyway, as Palpatine literally souped all of these people up as he was controlling the bad guys, he fucking, is in office, and he lets them know, like, yo, we like, the Senate and all these other guys, they're not making moves. Like, we need to make moves. We can end this war, and we need to do things. So he convinces them to make a clone army. And then it was the clone army was good guys, and the robot army, droid army, was the bad guys against the aliens. And then they fought, right? And as all this war, as all these things are going on, Palpatine was setting up everything to where right before the real progress would happen, he got appointed Supreme Chancellor or something, like, with all these, he had basically total power over he was appointed the ruler of the galaxy, basically. But, he still got a council and all those different things. But little did they know that he was bribing all of them and letting them know, I'm about to pull the biggest fucking coup in the history of the galaxy. And if you're not with me, you're going to sleep right now. Everyone he offered, that's the deal. So imagine how this guy was like a young man. He waited till he was like 80-something. He spent his entire fucking life on this. And when he finally does it, first he gets everyone to vote him all the power. Then as soon as he gets all the power, as they were doing that, he's convincing the chosen fucking Messiah to liberate the strongest Jedi there will ever be. Well, not ever be, but, at the time. To destroy the Sith. And he's brainwashing this fucking guy, getting him ready to turn, using the only thing that can ever make a chosen one, turn. The very thing they're sworn to protect. Love. Anakin Skywalker became Darth Vader because he loved his family so much. But unfortunately, that's why Jedis wasn't allowed to have families, because, OGs kind of get that the Sith Lords will, use your family against you. And most niggas think they're really good, but they're not. You're not good. You don't pledge yourself to the righteous will of anything until your family's involved. As soon as your family gets involved and they got to go see daddy personally upstairs, not everybody, majority of people cross. You turn over, you fold up. And I get it, you know what I mean? That's your family and shit. Who the fuck want to see their family in the floor? You know what I mean? That's why usually the most righteous men in the world are ones that don't have families. Why? Because you can't threaten them with anything. You can't make them stop their mission. The first thing evil people will always go to is your family. Anyway, as Palpatine used that trick plenty of times, he already had all the clones chipped. And the chip would brainwash them to turn on the Jedi and only listen to him once he announced this one code called Order 66. And when he got Supreme Chancellor, he called Order 66, and then all the Jedis that are in the middle of a battle, everyone's fighting everywhere still. And, and the Jedis don't even realize you're fighting against that robot army with the aliens, and the very clones that are right next to you turn right on. They literally turn, they show the movie, turn on and just start busting them down and shit all over the galaxy. And then, as the story goes on, in my time, when I grew up, Darth Vader, they start at the end of the movie. So we get shown that, they tell you Darth Vader's a bad guy. If you really watched the movie and you had no biased commercials or anyone's anything, you may really honestly believe that Darth Vader and all of them are the good guys, because they're really, take it instead of the galaxy and just put it on one planet. It would be the strongest country in the world that dominated their world through force. And, they're defeating people and shit. They're giving jobs, before them, a lot of people starving. It's all in the way you look at it, right? And, so a lot of the people, unbeknownst to them, were still, you could see it in the movie. Some people are saying the Empire is bad, and then some of the peasants are saying, nah, they're not. It's just, it's just the way it is. And it was crazy, because now that I'm older and I live life and learned a lot of things and shit, like Plato's Cave. You ever hear of Plato's Cave? It's a very interesting short story that can change the way you look at things. And so as I'm watching this and thinking about it in my mind, because I'm talking about, as I'm playing this through my mind, and like I said, let's get back to real life now. Order 66 was the same thing as old Roman tactics or in shit that I learned in history. What they say how to control and taking villages and all of this shit, right? And then I learned about the Willie Lynch letters and different things like that. And what I realized about just studying those things plus the actual reality of young adults and how they're automatically have to be taught, and then the impressionable mind will believe anything because that's the reality you're born into. You don't, sound the horns. So I realized Order 66 was get rid of all the adults in the galaxy, all the good people. Not at once, because, you don't need to get rid of everyone. All you got to do is get rid of the strong people. You know what I mean? And then the rest will fold up, because they haven't been thinking about how to fight against something like this. So they're going to fold up, and then they're either going to go with it and then get double-crossed anyway, and they're going to put them down, and you just raise the kids up with this is the way it's always been. It's not the Empire, it's the Galactic Federal Empire of Justice. It's the Justice League. You just throw words in front of shit, and you still do the same, or not. Really, because when you really look at Star Wars, although these people want to rule over shit, it's the same thing as good people. Good people want to rule fairly and just, and bad people want to get as much as they can and take care of their people the most. And everyone else just got to deal with that. Made me think to myself, was there really an American versus Indian black man war? Did it really happen the way they say? Because we caught them, and they're admitting that they lied about the slave trade and that we don't come from Africa, that we were here. Christopher Columbus said he's seen niggas, by the millions. And that was on one island. That's not the main land. There must mean there was billions of us here. Fucking kidding me, nigga? Fuck you think you talking to, a complete ass idiot? Nah, I can think really big with really small numbers. Can I get the exact numbers and things? No, who gives a fuck? Anyway, just watching this trick have been literally done in history, and how good it actually works. Like, even white people did it to white people. You ask the average white person where they're from or whatever, they actually don't even really remember. They'll name everywhere they conquered. Because they're so far, they've been conquering and doing their thing for so long, sound the horns, that to them, when they name that place, they really believe that's where I'm from. They forgot that they conquered it and took the names of those people, you get it? They forget, because years go on, and the story has always been, no, we've always been here, you've always been under me, and it's the curse of Cain. When, nah, nigga, nah, you ain't gonna hit me with that one, because the curse of Cain had nothing to do with skin. I think the curse of Cain would be, not have the Lord's help, If you're cursed, that means the Lord will, usually shun you away. So, I think the Lord would do something to people that would make them have to go out and take shit from other people, Usually the Lord teaches people like that. Like, oh, you don't want to obey me? Oh, oh, okay, I'm going to fuck you up really bad now. Now you can't do nothing. Look at you now. And anyway, so, recently, see, my Batman mind kicked in. They did it in Germany after the Second World War. Americans and Germans, none of us have any idea what really happened back then. None of us. When you start looking shit up yourself and seeing things, and you're like, wait up, what? I don't want to say the German thing was a good thing, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't know what the fuck they was really fighting for. But when I seen that Hitler called for deportation multiple times, say, yo, get these niggas out of here. We want these niggas out of here. Give a fuck about what nobody says. This ass shit. They ain't from here. I don't care about no paperwork, no nothing. We caught these niggas doing something. Get them out of here. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't a politician and all that, so I don't know how that really worked. And then I'm more than likely sure them Jews. I'm sure they had their paperwork. Those ain't some dumb motherfuckers to go somewhere and not make sure they paperwork straight. Like, I don't know. That's what I, you know what I mean? At least that's what in the future, that's what y'all known for. Well, y'all always got your paperwork straight. And that was a very interesting thing to learn, that years later, Germans were complaining about all the things that were said about the way the German soldiers were, and da-da-da-da-da, because when they actually wanted to surrender to their tyrannical, leader, and say, yo, bro, he was a crazy man. Do you understand he forced most of us to do these things? Like, he's not going to tell you, he's not going to give you a choice. Either you're going to get rid of them, or I'm going to get rid of you. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know who to believe, but I do believe maniac-ass people. That's kind of like the gangster rules in reality. You do all the bad work, and I sit here. You gotta pay your dues, little nigga. Go shoot him. Fuck you talking about, nigga. You better go put that work in, old nigga.